Hey there, Chad here. Thanks for joining me. This is Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead, and this is another episode in my playthrough of that and trying to learn some stuff about the game as a relative newbie at this point. As you might notice, I'm kind of starting fresh here, and that's for a couple of reasons. My last character got killed in my last video, but you guys did not get to see that because the audio was completely corrupt and I wasn't really able to do anything with it. So I played around a little bit to see if there was anything I wanted to try different, and I created a new character, and we're starting completely fresh with a new character type for me. I decided this time to go with a landscaper, and the main reason I decided to go with him is he comes with a machete, and he also starts with a trowel. I'm not so interested in using the trowel right now, so I'm going to put that down. A trowel does not store well, but the machete has a scabbard, so it's something I can kind of put away. And as a brand spanking new character, it makes him pretty formidable is what I'm seeing, and so I'm going to go with that for now. We will wield the machete, and you can see he's got a nice little sword there. Now, this series is supposed to be about learning new things about the game, and I decided to try something that was a little different, and I kind of like what the results are, so I thought I would show that off here real quick. The first thing I need to do, though, is find a flashlight, bingo, and a battery. And there's a battery. I got pretty lucky there, right where they needed to be. Of course, you have to select it. And I'm going to reload the flashlight, and then we're going to go downstairs and start. And I will show you this little tip that I've started doing, and I'm finding it makes my life a little easier in the game. We're starting here in the basement, and we have a lot of supplies down here. This is one of the bigger evacuation shelters. I think it's the largest one that there is. So there's a lot of stuff here, right? And it can be difficult to kind of consolidate all of that. What I've started doing is going in here and literally grabbing everything that makes sense. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the slash, and that gives us the advanced inventory. On the left side, I'm going to hit 4. So that's going to set stuff down right here. So that's 4, and then on this side, I'm just going to go through and grab anything that I feel like might be useful and put it on the floor there. It's going to be everything from that group, sure, why not, everything from that group, okay? And then I'm going to move over a little bit, and there's more stuff here, so I'm just going to repeat that process, put everything on the floor there. So that is where we're setting things on the floor. You do kind of have to balance that and pay a little bit of attention. Then over here, these are the items. There's a first aid kit, definitely something I want. And I think there's, yeah, just some soap there. Now, I don't fully know what the use of soap is other than to clean stuff, but here's what we're going to do. So now I have all that stuff in a pile here on the floor, right? There it is all listed out. I can't carry it all. A lot of it's too big, but what I can do is if I hit backslash, what that will do is anything that's on the current tile, it's going to allow me to drag. Now it takes more time. You're gonna expend more time and some energy to do that, but as you can see, you can see the dots are kind of following with me. And anytime I stop, I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off. Mostly because I just don't want to forget what I'm in the process of doing. Now there's some stuff in the trash can here. I'm going to go ahead and see if any of that is useful, but we're going to do the same process. I can't put stuff there. There we go. So cannabis seeds, evacuation, glass bottle. Glass bottle will probably be helpful in the long run. There's some decent stuff in there. And we'll always take protein rations, right? So now everything that was in this bathroom is now currently in this space. I'm going to once again drag, and we're going to come down here, and I'm going to stop dragging right there. Okay, so now you can see that pile, and if I hit G, there's everything that's in that pile. Okay, we're going to basically repeat that process for these other rooms. And there's 3 other rooms. There's 2 down here, and there's 1 around the corner, and on the way There we go. So on the way, I thought there was another, I thought we had seen something over here. I guess it was this guy here that I saw. We'll come back and get that in a minute. So once again, advanced inventory. On the right side, I kind of alternate between which side I'm using. It kind of has to do with the direction I'm moving things here. So I'm going to set stuff down here. So I'm going to put that on the right side of the advanced inventory. It really doesn't make a difference, but that's just easier for me to kind of process in my head. And I'm going to start at the top. I'm literally just going to empty that thing out. Then we'll go to the middle one. And then we'll go to the bottom one. And I'm not seeing anything that's earth-shattering here, but it's all there, and I'm going to hit the backslash, and we're going to drag that around. And now this time I'm going to pass over this pile. I actually don't know what's in that pile. Let's take a look. Okay, it's not anything really super awesome, but we're going to go ahead and just move over it, and you'll notice that pile is gone. One of the things that was in it was a sponge. If we look at our current space now, that sponge got picked up. So anything we move through while we're in drag mode is going to get dragged with us. So we're passing through another one there. Everything is now in that square. And we can look at that by hitting G. And as you can see, this list just keeps getting longer as we keep doing that. So I'm going to finish doing that down here in the basement. And once I've got it all gathered, I will come back and we'll move it upstairs and talk about doing the same thing up there. Give me just a minute here. Okay, so I have now collected everything from the basement and have it in 3 piles here, and I'm just going to pick one of those. Now, one thing I've noticed is if you are on a space that doesn't have anything to be carried and you hit it, it does not engage it. So I just did that, and I'm passing straight through those things. You actually have to be on a space that has something that's draggable. And then it will do this little magic for you. So there we go, and it will go upstairs. That's pretty awesome too. And then I think for now, I'm actually going to go on this side. I just tend to want to avoid the other guy here in the evacuation shelter for now. I'm just going to literally drop everything in a pile right here. And effectively, I'm going to do the same thing upstairs. And there are some things that I'm going to probably, like, I'm going to leave food on the counter here. But what I can do in the meantime is go ahead and just collect it all, round it up, put it here, and then drag that whole thing down to the counter and get all the food that's out of there all in one swoop. So saves a little time in the long run with your organization. And again, I'm going to give this just a minute to finish that up, and I will come right back. Okay, we're back. And at this point, I have literally everything except for the trowel that I put on the bench. Everything is in this square right now, and as you can see, there's like 5 first aid kits. First aid kits are amazing, right? Bandages, things like that. We want to know where these are. I have 5 flashlights up here, several lighters. Some fire shouldn't be a problem once I find some metal. You know, I'm not quite sure if these are useful for anything or if just disassembling them is a good idea. Got some 2-way radios, a game. Might have been a deck of cards in there somewhere. 73 protein bars. That's really helpful. And then water. Water is always one of those things that kind of feels elusive, but there's 29 plastic bottles of water. So we have water for a few days anyway. We probably have water for longer than I have survived in the game. I think the longest I've made it so far is 6.5 days. I do have a character that's still living at about 5 days, and we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, this is probably more water than I'm going to need for this playthrough as I'm still learning how to play. One thing I am noticing here is there are not a whole lot of batteries. I've only got 3 batteries. So I have a flashlight that is working at this point. I'm going to keep that on myself. I don't think I'm carrying anything else right now. I'm stepping off a pile just to make it clear what I have or don't have. Yeah, all this stuff is on me, and it's all good to have, so that's just fine. Now, a couple of things to consider here. I'm thinking of making this my crafting area, except I have learned that you don't want to build your brazier indoors. I've started seeing where that can be kind of a negative. So I'm thinking maybe I'll move everything down to this area here. So let's go ahead and do that. And I guess there's really no reason not to leave the trowel in with this pile for now. So I'm going to move all of this, and we're just going to, let's drop it on the bench here. We'll just leave it all there. Now I'm going to go out and explore. I'm going to go and get some withered plants so I can make some cordage, try to find some rocks, and the basic stuff that you want to do in the first few hours of your gameplay. So be back in a moment. I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead to that point in the video. Okay, and we're arriving back at the house. I have started collecting twigs and leaves for when I have a burn pit to use as fuel in those. So I'm dropping those outside basically when I have them. Although it looks, there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and drop a few more leaves there, and then I'm going to, when I finally have something, the brazier, I'm going to put it right about here, and then we can come out here and cook if we need to, and you stay warm if that's the case. Otherwise we can run inside here. And let's close some doors just to try to stay safe. Now I talked to this guy, and I wanted to see if we could trade anything, and he is not exactly well equipped. He's got a stone spear, and that's about all he has. One of your better options is when this guy is like a full-on soldier and has armor and, you know, an automatic rifle and things like that. I don't have that going on for me here right now. This looks like Lorna, so Lorna's probably a woman. Eventually I'm going to ask Lorna to travel with me, but for now I'm not going to. I haven't found, I've gone out in a couple of directions getting some of those withered plants, and I did not run into anybody that, anything that made me concerned immediately. So we'll come back to Lorna there at some point and ask them to travel with us. For now, I want to make, I'm going to make a couple of these if I can. Yeah, let's make 2 long. Nice thing about the machete, you can store it in your inventory. And then let's also make a couple of, however many of the short we can make. B for batch. Okay, that was pretty good balance. So 2 long, 9 short. We'll store those in our personal inventory as well. Now, things like cordage, you know, that's a component for a lot of different things. So it's not necessarily the worst idea to go ahead and start a separate pile for where those kinds of things are in your area. So I'm going to drop those there. Technically, I can put the rocks there as well. Might as well put the flint. I found an aluminum can. I don't know what the use of an aluminum can is just yet, so I'm going to set it down over here. We'll start kind of a pile for things that we don't know what the future use is. Actually, like a corner might be a better place for that, just kind of out of the way, and somewhere where we will remember that that's what we were doing with it. So, okay. I had mentioned I wanted to move the food and stuff down onto the counter. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And again, I'm going to do it just by dragging the pile with me. And I'll stop here, drop the pile, advanced inventory. My left side will be where I'm standing. And then over here, I think we will put all of the edible food here on the far, I guess, right as we're looking at it. Just need to find those. Okay, 73 protein rations. So we'll just get those placed over there. I'm going to move over here. We're going to put water in on that counter as well. Plastic bottles sealed. They will go individually. And I'm also going to put first aid kits down over here. Now I'm going to keep one with me because I think that's wise, but in the meantime we'll go ahead and store the other 4. And along with those I'm going to put the things like ammonia, bleach, cleaning supplies of sorts. I'm not seeing any other up there. We'll go with that for now. And I'm going to pick up that pile and drag it back to here and drop it again. So now I know I can come over here for food, water, and actually we are very thirsty and very hungry right now, so let's go ahead and just deal with that. Shift E, and I usually start with the food because the water will fill you up as well, and then we'll go with some water, and we are no longer thirsty. Now this has been something I've been a little curious about. Do I hold on to those bottles? So I don't have those bottles on me. I think they get put back where, yeah, they get put back where the where you took it from. So this is where I had all the bottles of water. I had 2 drinks, which is 1 bottle, and it put a plastic bottle back there for me. I'm actually going to pick up the plastic bottle, and we're going to put it in our pile over here because there are things that we will make out of plastic bottles eventually. Okay, no items were selected because I messed up there. Okay, the next thing I want to do is go ahead and make a crowbar. You need a pipe to make a crowbar. I'm going to go into the basement and kind of wreck some of these lockers and see if I can get some pipage here. So smash. And there is a pipe. We got very lucky there. Doesn't fit in a pocket. I'm going to go ahead and wield that, and we'll pick these things up. And I'm going to leave the rest of that alone for now. Now there's a lot of benches down here. It wouldn't be the worst thing to go ahead and smash one of those, although I really can't. Well, we can do our trick, right? I can go stand here. We'll just carry that stuff upstairs. For those kinds of supplies, I feel like I want a separate location. Things like planks and hardware. So I'm going to put that over here for now. And I think I had picked up, yeah, some scrap metal. We'll drop all that right there. So if we look at it, we have nut and bolt, scrap metal, small sheet metal, but we're holding the pipe. So I'm going to come over here and we are going to make a makeshift crowbar. There it is. And we now have our makeshift crowbar. Now we need a makeshift screwdriver, and at that point, or I'm sorry, a regular screwdriver. We can make a screwdriver outright. Once we have that, we'll be able to start deconstructing furniture, and we save a lot of material by doing a deconstruct as opposed to a smash. So it's important to be able to get that. Now the best way to get it that I know of is to bash a car with your crowbar, but I haven't found a car yet, so I'm going to go out looking for one of those. One other thing I do want to do quickly is go ahead and make a crafting spot on the floor. This is just where when I make stuff, that's where I'll drop it if I'm next to it. And it makes it a little easier for me to see. I do want to see if there's anything else I can make right now that would be helpful. A makeshift sling is very helpful because it allows you to store your crowbar. So I'm going to go ahead and make one of those. I have an emergency blanket. I have 14 of them, so this is not a problem to make. And there we have it. Okay, so here's that sling. I'm going to wear it, Shift W, and it puts it on. So now when I switch back to my machete, I can store the crowbar. Before I could not do that. I'm going to go look for a vehicle or something else that is metal that we can maybe get some metal chunks off of. And that'll allow us to make a screwdriver. But we will pick that up in the next video. Thanks for watching this time. I hope you'll hang around for the next one. And until then, fair travels.